To unpack this a bit more further for us, we're now joined by Dr. Charles Sinkala, International Relations Consultant, and he joins us now via our telephone line. Dr. Charles, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Perhaps let's start off here. What is your reaction to the developments we are seeing in Ghana, of course, with the former President Mahama claiming victory there?
Thank you very much for having me, and good evening to your viewers and listeners. This signifies the development of politics and elections in the continent. I think, the comeback of the president, gives the hopes to the people, and many people would like to have change. And the hope that the change of presidential management or executive management of the country shall bring some new meaning, and for them to go back to the former president just shows that the ruling party has been failing. The former ruling party now, who's outgoing, has been failing the people of Ghana.
Would you say that you were surprised at all by this turnout in the events in Ghana, or do you think that this was something to be expected from the people of Ghana?
I think I personally, we expected that outcome. As you've seen, the presidential tenure of Adwa Nana Akufo, when he picked up the management of the country, the CD was about just under 4 CD to $1. Now it has gone almost to 20 CD for $1, and the economy has been grappling with the ruling party being accused of corruption and mismanagement of the country. And I think, it was seen that, the people had to come in large numbers to change. And, yes, the two parties has been contesting heavily, and the ruling party going below 45%. It is a complete rejection of the ruling party by the people of Ghana.
And would you say that some of the issues that you are tabling to us, the issues of corruption, the issues of, the economy and a high unemployment rate, would you say that this informed the Ghanaians to vote in this manner?
Yes, indeed. There's many aspects, some of the internal factors of unemployment, youth unemployment, to be specific, as most of the youths in the continent, especially Ghana, they are quite unemployed, due to the dependence on the manufacturing systems from the Asian, the European and the United States communities, where products are just imposed without, having the manufacturing system within the African continent to create employment. But notwithstanding the fact of what have I highlighted and what you've mentioned in terms of unemployment and difficulties, the world now is grappling, coming out of the pandemic. It is quite difficult for any presidential manager, for any country for that matter, to manage those things, as the management of the country also now has been influenced by external factors such as war, the invasion of Russia and Ukraine, and as well as what has been happening in the Israel-Palestine conflicts, in terms of the West African country to move forward.
And Dr. Sinkala, we are still waiting for the Electoral Commission to make an official announcement and, of course, to proclaim the results here. And one would say that as we see, of course, the former President Bawumia, of course, essentially now conceding defeat. What do you make of that move for him to concede and make this announcement?
The former vice president, you mean?
The former vice president. Thanks for the correction.
Correct. I think in terms of maintaining peace and security, these candidates who has been, contesting such a contested elections, they are guided by regional, continental and international bodies in terms of peace and security within the countries. And I think it is through the transition that the security of the country and to harmonize the situation, even those who have lost, to concede as quickly as possible, not to destabilize further the country is one of the paramount significant, point that, whoever who's been leading, especially in the ruling parties, has to concede as quickly as possible so that their followers, can follow to concede as well, to understand that this was a competition and, there would be winners and the losers. But also we have to note that, this is not for the first time, in just under 1 year, we have seen about more than 5 ruling parties, who have lost the elections, to the opposition, especially the latest being Botswana and as well as the Mozambique.
And, speaking about those two countries and the manner in which these elections were held and the outcome thereof, of course, with the former vice president now conceding to those elections, how do you contrast that to countries like Mozambique?
It is something that, nations has to learn from. Many incumbent political parties, by virtue of them serving probably 1 term or even more terms, they would like to, to automatically be viewed that they win the elections. But they must understand that an election is a competition of ideas. There are those who would like to agree with you, as a political party, as loyalties and lobbyists. But of course, there are others who would like a change, to see something different, looking at the options that they might have.
All right, Dr. Charles, thank you so much for your time this evening. That is Dr. Charles Sinkala, International Relations Consultant there, just unpacking for us the latest developments coming out from Ghana. And of course, the former President John Dramani Mahama, of course, claiming victory for now in that country.